Hello, Marie again. In this Vivo tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make two types of buttons that can get your learners navigating their way around the course as well as interacting with the content. To set up the first button, I'm going to come back to our tutorial turtle page we've been working on. Using the timeline as before, I've added a little bubble animation after the tutorial turtle swims off the page, which I'll just show you. What I'd like to happen here is to be able to use this bubble as the learner's navigation to the next page of the course. The way to do that is to simply click on the text, as it's the top layer on the timeline, and then come up to the Buttons tab at the top here. In the Interaction section, click on Add Interaction, and then select the user trigger, which is what the learner needs to do to make that button work. In this case, I want the button to work when the user clicks on the object, and I want them to go to the next page. As you can see, there are loads of different interaction types you could add using this feature. Then select if you want the next page to open in a new tab, which I don't, so I'll leave that, then press OK. Then you can see your interaction at the top here, and you're able to edit it if you need to by clicking here. And that's all there is to it for adding a navigation button, so we'll start developing the next page. So just coming back to the main menu, and double click on the Swimming with the Fishies page to edit that. I've already set up the page with the content we need, which you can see here on the timeline, but what I've done is clicked here so some of the content isn't actually showing at the moment. I want to set this page up so the learner can hover over the different fish to find out more information about them. So when you hover over this fish, this information shows. So I'm just going to hide these objects for now too. As I'm using a background image which is flat, I'll need to add an object onto the page to create an area for the user to hover over. To do this, I'm just going to go to the Shapes drop down and drag a circle onto the page. Then going into the Properties tab, just make it slightly see-through and unlock the height and width to have a play with the shape until it covers the fish. So you're creating that area for the user to hover over. Then just bring the opacity right down to 0% so you can't see it on the page anymore. As before, you can turn that into a button by going to the Buttons tab and clicking Add Interaction. This time though, selecting when the mouse hovers over, you want to show or hide objects on the page. You then need to select the objects you want to show when the user hovers over that particular fish. The drop-down will give you the option to select any of the objects on the page, so out of those we just want to show Bubble 3, the big yellow and blue fish, and the big fish text. You don't want the objects with the information about the other fish to show in this interaction, so select those to be hidden. And press OK. Then you can add another interaction to the same object to make the information disappear when the learner hovers away from that fish. So select the mouse hovered out trigger. You don't want to show any objects, but you do want to hide all the extra fishy information, so select those. Then you can check that your course works by selecting Enable Interactions in the page viewer and press play on your course. So when you hover over the fish, you can find out more about him, and when you move off him, it goes away. I'll do the same for the other fish, and then you can check back next time to find out how to make your own page templates.